Here's a fact that'll shock you. A 2020 Mercedes S-Class loses $60,000 in value by 2025. A 1995 Lexus LS 400, still worth $8,000 and still running flawlessly. The numbers don't lie. Modern luxury cars are designed to impress for 36 months, then bankrupt you with repairs. But some cars were built different. Today, we're counting down 12 forgotten luxury cars that were actually brilliant. Machines that offered world-class luxury, performance, and reliability, then vanished from memory because the badge wasn't prestigious enough or the timing was wrong. Let's dive in. Number 12. Hyundai Genesis, 2009 to 2016. Let's start with the car that made luxury snobs uncomfortable. The first-generation Hyundai Genesis. Released in 2009, this Korean flagship had the audacity to offer rear-wheel drive, V8 power, leather everywhere, and a warranty that shamed the Germans, all for the price of a loaded Accord. Under the hood, you got either a 3.8-liter V6, making 290 horsepower, or a glorious 4.6-liter V8 pumping out 385 horsepower, 0 to 60, 5.5 seconds in V8 form. The chassis was sorted by engineers who'd worked at BMW, and the interior looked like Hyundai raided a Lexus parts bin and improved it. Equipment levels were absurd. Adaptive cruise, cooled seats, a 17-speaker sound system, features that cost $15,000 extra on German competitors. So why did everyone forget about it? The badge. Back in 2009, people weren't ready to accept Hyundai as a luxury brand. The Genesis was mechanically brilliant, but emotionally, it was like showing up to a country club in a perfectly tailored suit from Target. Critics loved it. Sales were okay. And then Hyundai wisely split Genesis into its own brand, leaving this original sedan in automotive purgatory. Today, you can find clean examples with under 80,000 miles for $8,000 to $12,000. They're reliable, comfortable, and utterly forgotten, which is exactly why they're brilliant. But if a Hyundai offering V8 luxury shocked you, wait till you see which American brand built a 469 horsepower supercharged beast. Number 11. Cadillac STS, 2005 to 2011. The Cadillac STS was supposed to save Cadillac. After years of building soft, floaty land yachts for retirees, GM decided to build something that could legitimately fight the Germans. The result? A rear-wheel drive luxury sedan with sharp handling, magnetic ride control, and, here's the kicker, a supercharged Northstar V8. Actually consider a Cadillac. The STS-V was the flagship. 4.4-liter supercharged V8, 469 horsepower, 439 pound-feet of torque. It ran 0 to 60 in 4.6 seconds and topped out at 155 miles per hour. The regular STS wasn't slouching either, offering a 3.6-liter V6 with 302 horsepower or a 4.6-liter V8 with 320 horsepower. It had Brembo brakes, a limited slip differential, and magnetic ride control that made the suspension adapt in milliseconds. On paper, it was everything BMW 5 Series buyers claimed to want. In reality, Cadillac's reputation wasn't there yet. The STS was good, genuinely good, but it arrived when people still associated Cadillac with your grandfather's DeVille. Sales were disappointing. Cadillac moved on. The car was forgotten. Here's the thing. Those Northstar V8s had head gasket issues, so maintenance records matter. But find a well-maintained STS-V today for $15,000 to $20,000, and you're getting a 469 horsepower luxury rocket that once cost $76,000. The Germans could never. Next up, a Japanese flagship with technology so advanced it made BMWs look ancient. Number 10. Acura RL, 2005 to 2012. The 2005 to 2012 Acura RL is proof that you can do everything right and still lose. This was Acura's flagship, a technological showcase featuring super handling all-wheel drive, a smooth 3.7-liter V6 with 300 horsepower, and build quality that made Lexus look sloppy. It was comfortable, quick, and spectacularly engineered, and nobody cared. SHAWD was genuinely brilliant. The system could send 70% of power to the rear wheels and then overdrive the outside rear wheel in corners, essentially rotating rotating the car through turns like a 911. It made the RL handle like a sports sedan despite weighing 4,000 pounds. Inside, you got heated and cooled seats, navigation, a killer 10-speaker ELS sound system, and Honda reliability baked into every component. So what went wrong? The RL looked like an overgrown Accord, and for $48,000 to $54,000, buyers wanted more presence. Lexus offered the GS with sexier styling. BMW offered the 5 Series with a better badge. The RL offered brilliant engineering, wrapped in vanilla. Acura sold barely 3,000 a year before killing it in 2012. Today, you'll find pristine RLs with under 100,000 miles for $10,000 to $15,000. They're still buttery smooth, dead reliable, and dynamically more impressive than they have any right to be. If you want a forgotten luxury car that'll never break down, this is it. But what if I told you there's an American sedan that shares DNA with a Jaguar? Number 9. Lincoln LS, 2000 to 2006. The Lincoln LS was Ford's attempt to prove American luxury didn't have to mean soft and boring. Built on a platform shared with the Jaguar S-Type, the LS featured rear-wheel drive, a near-perfect 50-50 weight distribution, and the kind of balanced chassis that made car journalists write love letters. This was Lincoln trying to be BMW, and shockingly, they almost pulled it off. 2 engines, a 3.0-liter V6, making 232 horsepower, and a 3.9-liter V8, producing 280 horsepower. The V8 hit 60 miles per hour in 6.7 seconds, respectable for 2000. But the real magic was the chassis. Double wishbone front suspension, multi-link rear, and steering feel that was actually good? The LS carved corners with precision most American sedans couldn't comprehend. Inside, you got leather, wood trim, and thoughtful ergonomics. The design was elegant but understated. Problem? It was too understated. Lincoln buyers wanted flash and presence. The LS offered subtlety and driving dynamics. Sales never caught fire, and Lincoln killed it after 2006. Reliability? The V8 had timing chain issues, and early models suffered electrical gremlins. But later, V6 models, 2003 plus, are solid. Find a clean, low-mile V8 Sport today for $5,000 to $8,000. Fix the timing chains preemptively, and you've got a brilliant rear-drive luxury sedan with Jag DNA for pocket change. Coming up, a Swedish sedan that made 0 sense until it made total sense. Number 8. Saab 9.5 Aero, 1997 to 2009. The Saab 9.5 Aero is what happens when Swedish engineers get drunk on turbocharged ambition and forget they're supposed to make boring cars. This quirky luxury sedan offered turbocharged performance, fighter jet-inspired ergonomics, and build quality that laughed at German over-engineering, all wrapped in a design that looked like someone melted a Volvo and stretched it. The Aero trim came with a 2.3-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder making 250 horsepower, which doesn't sound impressive until you realize it delivered 258 pound-feet of torque and a surge of boost that pinned you into seats designed by people who understood spines. Saab used aircraft-inspired tech everywhere. A turbine-style center console, night panel mode that killed all lights except the speedometer, and ventilation systems that actually worked. Inside, leather, wood, and a feeling that you were driving something thoughtfully designed rather than focus-grouped into submission. Handling was surprisingly sharp, brakes were excellent, and the ride quality split the difference between sport and comfort perfectly. Why did it fail? Saab's brand was dying. GM ownership slowly strangled the quirkiness people loved. Sales dwindled. Production ended in 2009, and Saab itself collapsed by 2011. The 9.5 Aero vanished from memory. Find one today for $3,000 to $6,000 with under 150,000 miles, and you'll discover a brilliantly engineered oddball that's cheaper to maintain than you'd think. Just bring a sense of humor and maybe a turbo mechanic. Next, Volvo did something completely insane with a Yamaha V8. Number 7. Volvo S80 V8, 2006 to 2010. What happens when Volvo, a brand known for safety, reliability, and Swedish practicality, decides to build a flagship sedan with a Yamaha-designed V8? You get the utterly forgotten 2006 to 2010 Volvo S80 V8, a car so wonderfully absurd it almost makes sense. The engine was magnificent. 4.4-liter V8, 311 horsepower, 325 pound-feet of torque, revving to 6 6,500 revolutions per minute with a sound that made your spine tingle. Yamaha engineered it, yes, the motorcycle company, and it felt special, smooth, powerful, and eager. The S80 V8 hit 60 miles per hour in 5.8 seconds, which put it in legitimate sport sedan territory. All-wheel drive was standard because Sweden, but the real magic was how Volvo blended performance with comfort. The interior was minimalist Scandinavian luxury, supple leather, real wood, and seats that felt like Swedish furniture. Safety features were absurd for 2006. Adaptive cruise, BLIS blind spot monitoring, and a structure that could survive a meteor strike. This was a car that offered E-Class comfort, 5 Series performance, and Volvo safety in one package. So why is it forgotten? V8s don't scream Volvo, and buyers who wanted 8 cylinders shopped German. Production was limited, and Volvo killed the V8 by 2010 due to poor sales and rising fuel standards. Today, find one for $8,000 to $12,000 with under 120,000 miles. They're reliable for a V8, comfortable and utterly unique. And the sound? Pure Yamaha magic. But wait till you see what GM built when they actually tried. Number 6. Oldsmobile Aurora, 1995 to 2003. The Oldsmobile Aurora was GM's moonshot. Car designed to prove American luxury could compete with Lexus refinement, BMW dynamics, and Mercedes prestige. It succeeded brilliantly. And then, Oldsmobile killed the entire brand. Oops. The first-generation Aurora featured a 4.0-liter Northstar 5.8, producing 250 horsepower, which doesn't sound explosive until you realize it was silky smooth, beautifully balanced, and paired with a chassis tuned by engineers who actually understood handling. The suspension was fully independent, the steering was sharp, and the ride quality managed to be both comfortable and controlled. Inside, leather everywhere, wood trim, analog gauges, and a design language that felt more European than American. The styling was stunning, smooth, sleek, and completely different from anything GM was building. No chrome grille, no badges, just clean, flowing lines and hidden headlights. It looked like a concept car that somehow made production. Second-generation Auroras, 2001 to 2003, upped the power to 250 horsepower, 3.5-liter V6, or 4.0-liter V8. Yes, they added a V6 option, but by then, GM had decided to kill Oldsmobile entirely. The Aurora became a swan song for a brand that deserved better. Find a first-gen Aurora today for $3,000 to $6,000, and you're buying a forgotten piece of American ambition. Just check for head gasket issues, Northstar's Achilles heel, and you'll have a comfortable, classy cruiser that looks like nothing else on the road. Before we continue, quick note, if you're serious about keeping any of these legends running strong, check the description below for our recommended maintenance products and resources. Trust me, you'll want to see what's down there. Now, speaking of Japanese brilliance, nobody noticed. Number 5. Infiniti Q45, 1990 to 1996. The first generation Infiniti Q45 was Nissan's declaration of war against Lexus, Mercedes, and BMW. Technological tour de force packed with a 4.5-liter V8, active suspension, and luxury features that embarrassed the Germans. It had everything, except the one thing luxury buyers actually wanted: a grille. The Q45 launched in 1990 with a 278 horsepower V8 rear-wheel drive and a sophisticated multi-link suspension that delivered handling German sedans couldn't match. It was fast, 0 to 60 in 7.1 seconds, quiet, and loaded with tech. Bose sound, power everything, traction control, and an interior that felt like a Japanese interpretation of the chassis was brilliant, the engine was bulletproof, and the ride quality was sublime. So why did it fail? Marketing. Infiniti's launch campaign showed trees and rocks instead of the car. Worse, Nissan deleted the traditional grille for a smooth, modern front end. Luxury buyers in 1990 weren't ready. They wanted presence, chrome, and status symbols. The Q45 offered engineering brilliance wrapped in minimalism. Sales collapsed. Infiniti panicked and added a grille in 1994, but the damage was done. Mechanically, these are near bulletproof. The VH45DE V8 is legendary for reliability, easily hitting 200,000 plus miles with basic maintenance. Today, find a clean first-gen Q45 for $4,000 to $8,000, and you'll own a forgotten flagship that's more reliable than anything German and more interesting than any Lexus. Next up, British luxury with a supercharged twist that'll make you rethink Jaguar's reputation. Number 4. Jaguar XJR X308, 1997 to 2003. The Jaguar XJR X308 is what happens when British engineers take a gorgeous luxury sedan, strap a supercharger to it, and dare you to call it unreliable. This was Jaguar at its peak, before Ford watered down the formula, before Tata bought the brand. This was pure, unapologetic British luxury with properly bonkers performance. Under the hood, a 4.0-liter supercharged V8 making 370 horsepower and 387 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60, 5.3 seconds. Top speed, 155 miles per hour, electronically limited because Europe. The XJR handled like a sports sedan but rode like a limousine, thanks to adaptive CATS suspension and a chassis that balanced comfort and control beautifully. The exhaust note was glorious, a supercharged wail that made M5s jealous. Inside, it was Connolly leather, burl walnut wood, and Jaguar's classic elegance. Seats were thrones. The dashboard was a mix of analog beauty and 1990s tech. You didn't drive an XJR, you piloted it with one hand while swirling a martini with the other. The catch? Reliability wasn't Lexus level. These Jags had electrical quirks, and the supercharger needed maintenance. But here's the secret. The mechanicals are actually solid. The V8 engine is durable, and most issues are minor gremlins. Find a well-maintained XJR today for $8,000 to $15,000, and you're getting a supercharged British masterpiece that'll embarrass modern luxury sedans for the price of a used Camry. But before Acura forgot how to build great cars, they made this absolute legend. Number 3. Acura Legend, 1991 to 1995. Before Lexus made luxury sedans boring, and before Infiniti forgot how to make good cars, Acura built the Legend. And it was exactly that. The second-generation Legend, 1991 to 1995, was Honda's masterpiece. A refined, powerful, beautifully engineered sedan that offered German performance, Japanese reliability, and American comfort in one brilliant package. 2 flavors: sedan or the gorgeous coupe. Both came with a 3.2-liter V6, making 200 horsepower, which was smooth as silk and loved to rev. The Legend featured a sophisticated double wishbone suspension at all 4 corners, the same setup Honda used in the NSX, delivering handling that embarrassed BMW. It was quick, balanced, and rewarding to drive, yet comfortable enough for cross-country trips. Inside, leather, wood, and build quality that made Lexus engineers take notes. Every switch felt expensive. Every surface was soft touch. The dashboard design was elegant without being flashy. The Legend felt like a car engineered by people who actually drove cars, not committees who studied focus groups. Why did it disappear? Acura replaced it with the RL in 1996, which was fine. But the Legend had soul, character, and a reputation as one of the most reliable luxury cars ever built. Many are still running strong with 300,000 plus miles. Find a clean Legend coupe today for $6,000 to $12,000, and you're buying a future classic. The sedan, $3,000 to $6,000. Both will outlive modern luxury cars twice over. Up next, most technically advanced forgotten luxury car ever built. Number 2. Mazda Millenia S, 1993 to 2002. The Mazda Millenia S is the answer to a question nobody asked. What if Mazda built a luxury sedan with a Miller Cycle supercharged V6 targeting Lexus and Acura, but forgot to tell anyone? The result was one of the most technically brilliant and thoroughly forgotten luxury cars of the 1990s. The heart of the Millenia S was its engine, a 2.3-liter Miller Cycle supercharged V6 producing 210 horsepower. Miller Cycle? It's a thermodynamically efficient design, similar to Atkinson Cycle but cooler. It uses a Lysholm-type supercharger to recover lost power. Translation? Smooth, efficient power delivery, minimal turbo lag, and 24 miles per gallon highway. Insane for a luxury car in 1995. The engine was co-developed with research for Mazda's Le Mans program. This was racing tech in a family sedan. Beyond the engine, the Millenia was gorgeous. Exterior styling was sleek and timeless, like a smaller Japanese BMW. Inside, leather, wood, and a minimalist dashboard that felt modern even today. The ride was smooth, handling was sharp, and build quality was typical Mazda, underrated and excellent. So why did it fail? No brand cachet. Mazda positioned it as near luxury. Buyers wanting a Lexus bought a Lexus. Mazda didn't have the brand power to charge $35,000 for a sedan, no matter how brilliant. Sales were modest. Production ended in 2002. The Millenia vanished. Find one today for $2,000 to $4,000 with under 150,000 miles, and you're buying a technological marvel for Honda Accord money. Just be prepared to explain the Miller cycle at every Cars and Coffee. And now, number 1, the car that represents everything modern BMW forgot. Number 1, BMW E38 7 Series, 1994 to 2001. Let's be honest. The BMW E38 7 Series is peak BMW. The last flagship they built before iDrive ruined everything, before corporate bean counters cheapened the materials, and before planned obsolescence became the business model. This is the car that made Mercedes nervous, made Lexus look boring, and made Jaguar realize the game had changed. The E38 offered a range of engines, from the 3.5-liter inline-6 in the 735i to the glorious 5.4-liter V12 in the 750iL, making 322 horsepower. But the sweet spot was the 740i IL with its 4.4-liter V8, producing 282 horsepower. Smooth, powerful, and reliable. Handling was sublime for a big sedan. The steering communicated, the chassis balanced, and the ride quality managed to be both sporty and comfortable. This was a driver's car disguised as a limousine. Inside, the E38 was German luxury at its finest. Supple Nappa leather, real wood trim, and build quality that makes modern BMWs feel like kit cars. The dashboard was analog elegance, proper gauges, tactile buttons, and no distracting screens. Tech included navigation, xenon headlights, and double-pane glass. Everything felt expensive because it was. Why is it forgotten? Time moved on. The E65 replaced it with iDrive and controversial styling. E38 became just an old 7 Series. But enthusiasts know the truth. This is the last great BMW flagship. Maintenance matters. These are complex machines, but well-kept examples are reliable and parts are available. Find a 740iL Sport today for $8,000 to $15,000 with documented maintenance, and you're buying the best luxury sedan BMW ever built. And there you have it, 12 forgotten luxury cars that were actually brilliant. From Mazda's Miller cycle engineering marvel to BMW's last great flagship, these cars proved you don't need a current year model to enjoy luxury, performance, and reliability. They offered innovation, refinement, and driving joy, and vanished because the badge wasn't right, the timing was off, or people simply weren't ready. The lesson? Brilliance doesn't always wear a three-pointed star. Some of the best luxury cars ever made are sitting in used car lots right now. Forgotten, undervalued, and waiting for someone smart enough to recognize quality. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into forgotten brilliance, click the end screen now to watch 12 best old luxury sedans that will outlive modern cars. These cars never die. Trust me, you'll want to see which legendary sedans are still bulletproof decades later. Until next time, remember, the best car isn't always the newest one. It's the one that was built to last.